What's going on, everybody? Just wanted to talk to you a little bit about today, the importance and understanding of, how you get recruited, how that actually happens, and just really get a real reality check here. More and more, it's amazing. There's so much more information out there in the recruiting process, and yet there's still I would argue and say that there's more misinformation than ever, even though you could have more information accessible to you. And people are more confused than ever. I am overwhelmed and concerned at the same time with how many athletes and their parents ask the same exact question. How many coaches are going to be at a camp? Is this a camp going to provide me with exposure? First of all, most of you guys haven't taken care of the most important thing, which is becoming a great player. And you think that showing up at a camp is going to be something that's going to help you become recruited. You got to understand the important aspects is, number one, becoming a great football player, doing the things that are necessary from your coaches at the high school level or at the youth level in order to get yourself better. In 8th grade, you don't need to worry about recruiting exposure. Just go out and compete and do the best job you can and learn from the coaches you're working with, whatever camp you go to. The other stuff is just complete and utter nonsense. If you get recruited out of an event, you do really well, you test, and you can then leverage it, even if you're a young guy, then go ahead and do that. Take the information and build your resume as a player. That way, when you go to a camp and you go and compete, you started to build your resume. You do well at a combine. You put that on your resume. You go to a college camp. You do well. Before you even step foot on some of these college campuses, most of you haven't even talked to a college coach. You haven't even reached out. You haven't even spoken to anybody yet. You need to speak to somebody and find out if you're recruitable from that school, if that one of those schools are interested. Who's going to be at, the school, what coaches, if you're going to a college camp, is it going to be your coach? Is it just going to be their coaches, or is it going to be other coaches as well? If you go to a spring showcase or camp, if college coaches come and see it, that's great. It is so unnecessary. All that has to happen is the information has to go to college coaches that you're a recruitable guy, that you did well at the camp, provide some results, maybe an evaluation. But most importantly, the information that goes to the college coaches with your data, your verified height and weight, and those kind of things are real important. And then just how competitive are you? Like, I'm always shocked by how many people say I'm not going to go out and compete. You're not going to go out and compete. Like, what do you think you're going to do when you go to college? You're going to compete. You should be competing all the time. You should be training all the time to become better. You should be playing multiple sports in the off season to become better at competing. Competition is the key. Training and developing your skills is important, but competing, once you start to develop those skills, is the key. Coaches want to see you compete. We're looking for athletes. We're looking for competitors. We're looking for warriors, guys that want to fight and battle. And, at the college level, the pro level, they're looking for the same exact thing. They're not looking for guys that want to shy away from competition or just looking for a handout because you showed up at something and, oh my goodness, you showed up, and now maybe somebody should recruit you because you showed up. That's almost comical. And I get the same questions over. Actually, it's increased over the last several years. And I think that's just because there's so many events now out there that people are confused. And you need to really focus on, A, having a great academic transcript. B, developing your skill sets and developing your ability to compete. C, having great film. Having great film is critical. The first step for guys that come in and look at you and possibly offer you. Okay? D, making sure other people you compete against are not just guys locally, but you go and compete wherever you can. And then E, make sure your character, and the best probably should be A, I don't know, make sure your character is top notch. Don't post things on social media that could possibly put you in a situation where a coach is going to question your character. It's important. If you want to go to college, these are critical things for you to understand. If you are a player and you want to be recruited, and a college coach finds out that you don't do those things, it's the quickest thing when they talk to your high school coach to get you unrecruited. It is critical to do all the things necessary to become great. Becoming great isn't something you just post on Instagram or Twitter and say that you're great. Becoming great is something that you do every single day. It's a process. Every single day, work on every single skill, work on your academics, work on your athletics, work on your strength and conditioning, work on your speed, work on your competitiveness. Those are things you can work on every single day. Those are things you can control. You could control the effort that you have to get each one of these things better. Hope this helps you. I think a lot of you guys need some of this reality check, because it's amazing when I read some of the things that I get at how confused people are, and I'm hoping this will help you and get you to a place where you need. I played at the Division I level. I've coached for a long time. I deal with NFL athletes from my agency standpoint. I coach high school football. I deal with so many college coaches all the time, and I see so many recurring themes. Don't fall for the nonsense. Make sure you understand those things. Before you step foot on a college campus, make sure you know that you might be a guy that they're interested in, because otherwise you're wasting your time. You only have so much time in this life and only so much time in this game, and make sure you make the most of it. Coach Schuman, signing off.